Welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty Cat, with my sister co-host, Miss Morningstar on WKRA 92.7 FM The Change. If you're looking for the best in news, current events, community outreach programs, and shopping connections, you've come to the right place. We've got a great mix of content and community connections lined up for you this evening, along with special guest interviews. So, grab your favorite drink of choice, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
Good morning, WKRA 92.7 The Change. It is your morning host, DJ Kitty, here with my co-host, Mrs. Morningstar, on from Our Plugs, the Community Connection. Happy Monday. It's a beautiful week ahead. Today is going to be magnificent. No matter what happens, we're claiming that first thing in the morning. And even more so, we are claiming blessings to us all. Good morning to all those in Holly Springs, Mississippi, as well as Memphis, Tennessee, and everyone in the radio land that's out there listening. Good morning, Miss Morningstar. How are you?
Well, good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning,
Yes.
everyone. I'm doing wonderful, blessed and favored to be
Highly,
here this morning. Highly favored.
highly favored.
Amen. So I'm
Yeah,
doing well. Ready
that's
to get this
good.
week
Good.
started.
Yes, ready to get the week started, but I just have one question. What happened to the weekend? It just flew by.
All
No
the time.
matter what transpired, there was never enough time. So uh say goodbye to the weekend. Let's roll into Monday and everybody get you a cup of coffee, something good to drink, whether it's water, coffee, juice, and come on in. We start every morning, every show with our affirmation of positivity, hope, love, all of that. And we start that with our affirmation queen, and that is Mrs. Morningstar. What do you have? Look at you. What do you have for that Morningstar?
So, of course, we got to get it going. We got to start up the engines this morning. So, this one is a morning affirmation for women. For women. Men can use this too. So I don't want to discriminate. Men can use this too. So the affirmation is wake up each morning with a heart full of gratitude. Mornings are a fresh start and you can need to make the most of them. Be excited about the possibilities of the day. Morning routines set a positive tone for the day. Embrace the quiet in the morning to center yourself. Be energetic and ready to tackle any challenges. Rituals nourishing your body, your mind, and soul. Make sure you get a healthy breakfast in. Be motivated and focused on goals from the moment you wake up. Greet the morning with a smile and a positive attitude. Reaffirm your self commitments that you have for the week. Control your day and choose to make it great. Make sure you make the most of your days. Be grateful for the opportunity to start fresh each morning. Align with a purpose and be ready to face any obstacles. Radiate confidence and positivity as a beginning to the day. Routines, again, nourishing your mind and your spirit, and be excited to see what the day has in store for you. That's a good morning affirmation.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to add one to that.
Okay.
My affirmation is always keep busy. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. Keep your mind sharp.
I like that.
Idle mind.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Today's going to be a wonderful Monday. I refuse to say anything more than that.
And you
Wonderful.
already starting it off wonderfully because
Yeah,
that's what you're claiming and that's what it shall be.
Absolutely. We've got some beautiful weather for today. In Holly
Nice.
Springs, it's a high of 72, 70s, baby, with a low of 48, sunny with some clouds, but it's still going to be nice and beautiful. Winds, light winds, and it's going to feel great. So get out there and touch some grass, get some sun, that melanin, we crave that sun.
Yes.
Let's see. In Memphis, Tennessee, it's going to be 72, 70s, baby. Uh, with the high of 72 and a low of 51. That's still some good weather. Sunny with some clouds, little windy, but it's going to be absolutely beautiful in Memphis, Tennessee. And in
Nice.
Houston starts with an H for hot, hot Houston, okay? Because it's going to be 85 degrees. That's where we're at, 85 degrees already with a
Yeah.
low of 66, partly and
Okay.
mostly cloudy. So at least we'll have some cloud cover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we will have some stray showers or thunderstorms. We've got like a 15 to 18% chance, which means only 15 or 18% of the city will get hit with, some rain. So that being said, Houston, pack an umbrella. You won't really need it that long.
We might be lucky and
We
miss. You
might.
know how big Houston
Houston
is and
is.
how large, this state. So we might, that's a small percentage
It's
of
very
rain.
small.
So,
It will be raining at Miss Morningstar's house and it'll be sunny at
yes,
my house, and we're 15 minutes apart. So
literally, it's
literally,
probably 12 minutes away. And yeah.
truly, truly. So
Mm-hmm.
enjoy this beautiful weather. It is spring. Let's watch the flowers bloom and the the animals, they're giving birth, the little chickadees and little birds. You hear them in the morning. I love it. I love it. I love it. The only thing I hate about the spring is the pollen and my allergies. We're not friends. We are not friends. We are not friends at all.
It
As
is
a matter of
awful right
fact, it
now. The
is.
allergies is awful. I was just
Yeah.
talking to my husband, and he is going through it with his eyes and the pollen and the burning. So yeah, we
Yeah.
gotta.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for us right now. I actually was outdoors this past weekend with my grandson and my great nephew, a 5 and 6 year old. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, they wore me out.
I bet they
They
did.
they did. From 9 to 12, we went to the biggest bounce house they have, and it comes to Houston once a year. And we had a blast. I have so many pictures. We had a blast. By the time we got home, after we ate lunch, I took them to go eat lunch. We got home. I got in the shower. I told them, please don't come in my room and bother me. I slept from 3 o'clock until 11 o'clock at night. I am this, baby, they wore me out because I had to run with them. I got all the exercise I needed this past weekend. I think I'm good for the week, but no, I'm not. I'm not. Because we still have to get that 30 minutes in.
Wow, Kitty, that was a good time though. That
It
sounds
was
like
a
a good
great time.
time.
It was
Yeah.
a good sleep too, baby,
I
because
bet.
it was. I wore me out. I know I'm showing my age, but I don't care. The little people will keep you young. So
They
if you
got
need to,
plenty of energy.
they do. And if you need to, get re-energized, just grab your little 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, take them for a day. Trust me, they will. You will sleep well. You will sleep well.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Morningstar, so I think it's my turn to start the week off with current events.
Surely.
Okay, so I'm going to start with some positivity, okay?
Okay.
So of course I'm hooked on Heart and Soul magazine. They have a new book out, Who Better Than You by Will Packer. I suggest you guys download that, either purchase or go to Audible. I definitely will be listening in. Hopefully it's on Audible. I'm gonna double check today. Otherwise, I'm just gonna buy it. But I love to read, so I'm an avid reader, and I love Black authors, plain and simple. There's another article. It says, excuse me. This article is by Hazel Trice Etney, and the title of it is "I Upended My Life to Take Care of my Mama." It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Now, I read all of that because it
Yeah.
it holds true for me as well. semi-retired to take care of my mother until she went on to glory, to be with my daddy. And that was the best time of my life, to be honest with you. So if you have the opportunity, and we as the Black community, we take care of ours.
We
You know,
do.
we do.
We do.
A nursing home, only if you just cannot
Yeah.
handle that situation. But we typically take care of our elders. I
Hmm.
definitely expect my kids to take care of me. I'm not going to a nursing home now.
Yeah.
Look,
My mother is, and my father right now is taking care of my grandmother. And
exactly,
this is what we do. And when
exactly.
they need a break, then somebody else in the family steps in to help
Yeah.
her, to get them a break. But
And there are some great nursing homes out there, but you have to find the right ones. And, you know, me, myself personally, when my mother had to go into rehab, I had to accept that because there's some conditions you can't handle.
yeah,
But, we as a people, we typically take care of our
because
family.
we know nobody is going to love our loved one the way we would.
Yeah.
It's just it just
It's
is what
just
it
it
is.
is. But I will say this: if I do go to a nursing home, if I had when I did have to put my mother in a home for her rehab, I tried to find one where it was ran by people of color, simply because I don't want my mother treated any other way than with respect. And then I made a point to go and check on my mother daily. Um,
Mhm.
if I wasn't going, it was somebody in the family, and we have a pretty big family. So you can't just, if you have to put your family in a nursing home, you can't just leave them there and not check on them.
Absolutely.
Um, I got two more stories really quick. I want to send my thoughts and prayers to Say So P and Sauce Walker. These are rappers that were shot in Memphis, Tennessee on Saturday.
Wow.
Now, this is near and dear to my heart because Sauce Walker, I know his real name, but I'm not going to say it out here, slept on my couch. I raised that young man. He grew up with my children, my daughters, and he calls me mama. Talked to my son last night, and he's not in critical condition. Um, but that other young man, he lost his life, and it's heartbreaking. You know,
Hmm.
for all those that are listening, I just want you to take it from Auntie, okay? Just hear me out. We have a hard enough time in America being Black in America. We have a hard enough time living in a country that reminds us that they don't want us here, even though they stole our ancestors. And this is the results of stealing our ancestors. We have a hard enough time. Please use your voice, use your words. Stop taking each other out.
Stop it, y'all. Cut
Just
it
stop.
out.
You
It's too critical right now.
it
Our
really
time,
is.
we are in some times that the war is against us in a lot of ways right now, and we shouldn't be against each other. We should be bonding together. Any kind of discrepancies you have, if it cannot be talked out, then let it go.
Yeah.
Move on.
Move on. Life is short. Trust me. When you get to be my age, I have more years behind me than I do ahead of me. When you get to be my age, you sit back and you think about the things that are valuable
It ain't
and
worth
real
it.
in life, and it's not worth it.
It ain't.
It's not worth you throwing your life away because eventually you will get caught. And it's not worth you taking another life because although you may not be judged down here, there's a higher power that you will have to answer to. I just want the youth, I want you guys just to listen to Auntie, please. Stop. It's never that serious. Talk it out. Showing strength is talking about it instead of picking up a weapon and ruining your life and those around you.
Mm-hmm.
When I
Absolutely.
heard the news, I had to take a minute, and my kids, of course, called me, and they were like, "Mama, my son was over here yesterday. Mama, did you hear?" Yes, I heard. And I'm gonna give him a call. I am. But right now, I just need him to get his mind straight because from what I'm hearing, it was an attack and it was planned. And come on, y'all, young men, there's so much more for you than this. There's so much more for you to do in life than this. And if you don't know what else you can do, reach out. We have plenty of mentors that can assist you with getting you on the right path. But this path leads you two places:
That's
in
it.
jail or to hell. Plain
That's
and
it.
simple.
That is it.
Plain
Wow.
and simple.
Well, I'll keep his family and y'all all in my prayers as he
Yes,
heals. Hopefully, he heals and he doesn't have any lingering elements that may cause, throughout his life. Let's just pray that he can rehab and, and be
absolutely.
safe.
And
Yeah.
to the young man who lost his life, my prayers are with you and your
Prayers and
family.
yes, prayers to his
Truly.
family because some, people are hurting.
They are. And
Yeah.
we need to stop as a community. We are trying to
Hmm.
build up our community, and we need our young men to step in and do your part as well.
We do.
Step in and do your
Absolutely.
part. The other story article that I wanted to bring up very quickly is about
Hmm.
the administration, that dude that's up there messing up things.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He is now. I thought that American citizens had free speech. Well, he's asking green card holders to turn over their social media profiles. They're already legally in the country and they're going through the steps to get their citizenship, but now he wants their social media profiles. Why? What you want? Why you want them? So you can deport them if they say something against you? What I'm so over it. I'm
What you
so
think?
over it.
I
Leave
don't care. I
people
mean, just the biggest bully ever.
ever, ever.
Too
Him and
old
his
to be bullying people like this. Nobody should bully anybody, but
no.
this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is, but still, we won't have to worry about it too much longer because they said what they say, they don't want us, they don't put the signs up that say no colors allowed. We're gonna put up signs that say I that goes two ways. All right, because you know, two can play that game. It's crazy. It's
It
simply
is.
crazy. But that's all I have for this morning in
Okay.
current events. Go ahead, Miss Morningstar. What do you have, honey?
Okay. He must go. Chuck Schumer. So they are, Democratic Party is really calling for the resignation of Chuck Schumer.
Mm.
And they're loud and clear with it. I did a TikTok earlier today, kind of speaking on it, and because everything I turned on was just about Schumer, Chuck Schumer, that he must go. We want him to go, resign, step down. He says, "I'm not stepping down.
Oh, he said he's not gonna step down. Oh,
I'm not stepping down," is what he said. So he was, called to resign for nearly 2 weeks, and he's saying that he is not stepping down. And here's the thing, uh, I need a lot of these older politicians to realize when their time is up, and it's time to have our younger generation step up and make some decisions. Some of the decisions that these older politicians are making are not inconsiderate with what time we are in and what our new children that are coming up in this era of politics and the new age of politicians. Scoot over, let them have a seat at the table. What are you holding on to? There are things happening that you need to be able to release and and do it in a way that is has shown some classism. Pass it on to the next group of younger people who know how to handle this. You're doing things that the younger generation is like, what is this old person doing? Why are they doing this? You're thinking you're dealing with the old Republican Party. You are not dealing with the same Republican Party that you've dealt with throughout the years. This is a new thing. This is a new era, new to all of us. Stop
well,
being stubborn.
my thought process is this: civil rights, we didn't get our civil rights, it wasn't put into law until 62 years ago. So if you're over 62, you don't need to even be in any House, Senate, nowhere. Why are you still? Because you were in office, and you were around during that time of uh, the hypocrisy and the craziness of white tea supremacy. I
Exactly.
understand. I get it. They don't want to give up their power, but there needs to be term limits.
Yeah.
These old people, you don't even, most of them don't even know how to turn on a phone, a tablet. I digress.
It's just time. It is time. Like we see powerful black women in the comments. There are a lot of light. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
they don't want to give it up.
One thing I've never been not naive to is that there are radical and racist people in the Democratic Party as well.
Absolutely.
We've never said there wasn't. We know that we can align more with that party because there are things that they help push our ancestors, our people through with legislation to have us have freedoms that we were not awarded. So we align better where we can have a seat at the table. We're pushing towards those seats. We want it. We want those seats at the table, at the front table. They're more privy to having that for us. So we align with them, but we don't say we trust them all.
Baby, I trust them as far as I can. Don't.
You see this?
I don't trust
You
them
ever
at all
seen that
because
meme? This is how far, this is about many friends I got. Yes. And that's
so
real.
if you really think about it, and we're about to go to commercial break, but I'm gonna put something on your minds.
And when we come back, I got a couple more.
Absolutely. I'm gonna put something on you guys' minds. Okay, we are our ancestors,
We
and
are.
so are they. You're listening to WKRA 92.7 The Change. I'm your host, DJ Kitty, here with my co-host, Mrs. Morningstar. We will be right back after these commercial breaks.
Timeless elegance. Redefine class. Welcome to Morningstar Boutique by Tam, where fashion at its finest, fashion that brings out your inner cuteness, and styles that make you go, oh girl, where you get that from? Check me out at www.morningstarboutiquebytam or at ourplugs.com. Can't wait to see you.
Hey guys, yes, this is my nonprofit, Carter's Caring Hands. And what my nonprofit does, we give fresh food boxes to those families in need that's struggling to keep food on their tables. We also go out into the unhoused community, give out care bags here in the Kalamazoo, Michigan area. So if you'd like to donate to the cause, please go to www.carterscaringhands.com and donate whatever you can, so we together can uplift those families that's struggling to keep food on their tables. Highly appreciate it. God bless.
Welcome to a world that sparkles. Sparkle Cakes LLC takes custom to a whole new level. You are guaranteed to find a gift for that special someone, or even a customized gift for yourself. So head on over to my Etsy shop, Sparkle Cakes LLC, and start your personalized order today. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Middleton, life and executive leadership coach and owner of Radiate Coaching and Development, where we provide transformational strength-based coaching and mentorship. My goal specifically is to support you in identifying your mission, your vision, and your values that help you take your power back as you are building your career. Whether it's within or outside of the corporate world, my goal is to really empower you in making decisions that work well for you. So if you want to reach out to me, by all means, you can email me at radiate@midspiration.com or check out my website at radiatecoaching.com.
Welcome to Nutrition You Design. Finally, your place to really get to the bottom line of your health with our functional nutritionist Gail Thorpe on board. You have a caring practitioner to get to the root cause of your health concerns when all else fails. At Nutrition You Design, we specialize in women's health, anywhere from hormones, fibroids, menopause. We have you covered. With over 200 specialty lab tests, we are like your personal health detective. We offer customized meal plans, genetic testing, stress management, and a host of other offers to really get you healthy. Be sure to book your consultation at nutritionyoudesign.com or give us a call at 877-898-5130. You can also find us at ourplugs.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Some gas and stuff for the week.
And we are back.
All right.
So you're listening to WKRA 92.7 The Change. I'm your host, Miss DJ Kitty, and I'm here with my co-host, Miss Morningstar. If you like the commercials or you'd like to add your commercial, please reach out to us. You can reach us at sales@ourplugs.com. That's SALES at plugs, PLUGS.com. And we'll get back with you as soon as possible. So today, no. Go ahead, Miss Morningstar. You still have some stories that you want to
Yeah, just a few more stories. So
Absolutely.
I wanted to touch on this. I don't know, most of us should know that former boxer legend George Foreman passed away sadly over the weekend at the age of 76. He was a native of Houston, here in Houston. Yeah, was born and raised here. And he was an Olympic gold medalist. He was he was born in 1945 here in Houston, Texas. And he was involved in boxing at the early age of 15.
Yeah.
So he spent a lot of his life, being a boxer. He did a number of different businesses. He, of course, y'all know the George Foreman grill. We all had one, right?
Absolutely.
Loved it. He was a father of 12. He had 5 sons. Everybody's name was George. Y'all remember that? He was married 4 times, and recently to Mary. I didn't know that, Mary Joanne Martley, whom he wed in 1985.
Okay.
So rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. Condolences to the family.
Yes, and condolences to his family. And we hate to hear those things, but the next article too was about March 25th, coming up. It's going to mark the 16th anniversary of Hampton, Virginia's proclamation for the beginning of the 1619 transatlantic slave trade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
so this is a remembrance of, of the Africans from the Congo and the Indigo kingdoms that were captured and sold into slavery. So they are doing a memory. They've been doing this for the past, 16 years now with this proclamation, keeping up with their memory of what they went through when they were stolen from their home, from their land, and had to make that awful journey, full of disease, sickness, on a cramped up boat.
Cruelty. Just disgusting.
And about 350 enslaved Africans were aboard, or probably, and we don't know how many made it. That might be who made it. It might have been more.
Yeah.
Did
you know? Some people decided I'm not finna go into slavery. It's just, our people are a strong, resilient people, and just the fact that we've gone through so much at the hands of savages.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Savages.
Awful. So I didn't know that piece of history, and I thought it would be nice to share it with you guys. So you guys kind of mark that day in your calendar. You kind of got a little mark in history. It's 365 days of history over here, y'all. Black history did not end in February for me. I'm going to keep it going.
For none of us. 365, because we don't need a month, and we don't need to tell anybody to tell us
to talk about us.
Celebrate. No.
That's right.
Because segregation. So we don't we don't need to do that anymore Anyway, um, so tonight or this morning's topic, we've got Gail Thorpe, our sister Gail,
Yay.
here, and she's going to come on up. Let's go ahead and bring Gail up
Okay, I
this
got
morning.
her.
Let her go ahead and tell us what's going on and what she's
Hey, good
bringing to the
morning,
table.
Gail.
Good morning, Gail.
Good morning, beautiful sisters. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I have my tea right here with me, as always,
As
to bring the
always.
good stuff, to bring the good news about our health in all aspects on every Monday morning.
Absolutely. We love it.
Yep.
We love it. So what are we talking about today, Mrs. Thorpe?
Well, today we're talking about Eldercare Essentials. What made me really think of this a lot too was because, you know, I was a caregiver for my dad full time. And you know, just going through that process, I know, Kitty, you can understand that too. Going through that whole process, it's a lot for caregivers, and a lot of times too, they don't understand, you know, all the things that can help to keep them healthy while they're going through that process, as far as, you know, for the caregiver and also definitely for the patient who is the senior citizen. So I felt that that would be a great segue, because we're also the guest that I'm going to have tonight, or I'm sorry, this morning. She is a good friend of mine, and she'll be talking more about home care and that good stuff like that. So I felt like I wanted to first start with physical health, because oftentimes when we age, I know this happened to my dad. He, you know, was active, and all of a sudden he started to not become as active. And we have to encourage that, because a lot of times their muscles start to get, you know, very stiff, right? And so that can actually, if they're sitting too much or laying too much, you know, lack of mobility can definitely cause problems with anybody, not just senior citizens. So we want to definitely concentrate on the physical health. So we want to make sure they get regular exercise. You want to make sure that you encourage them to, you know, do some walking, swimming, yoga. We talked about that the other week there in reference to chair yoga, which is really good, to keep their strength training going and help them to maintain their mobility and their balance. That's such a huge part, because a lot of times when you get older, believe it or not, you can actually start to lose some of your balance when you're in your 40s. Have you guys ever experienced that sometimes, getting out of a chair, or you kind of get a little unbalanced a little bit sometimes, especially if you're not exercising enough and moving around enough? That can actually happen.
I just felt I was clumsy, that's all. But yeah.
Well, you might be clumsy too. You might be clumsy too.
Yeah.
So we're good.
That's what I blamed it on.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that later. We also want to talk about, as far as their nutrition. You know, that's me. That's my go-to part. So and I'm gonna kind of break out a little bit on that nutrition component, but we want to make sure that they are receiving a balanced diet that is rich in fiber and lean proteins, healthy fats, and vitamins. Make sure that it includes calcium and vitamin D for bone health. We want to also make sure they stay hydrated. You know, one of the things that my dad experienced a couple of times was dehydration.
Yes.
And, you know, for seniors, they have to be, I know it's kind of a catch-22, because, you know, they're not as mobile. So when they're drinking a lot of water, they don't always want to have to keep going, you know, getting up and using the bathroom. But in the same token, they have to get enough hydration in them, because they can become dehydrated, and it can sometimes can become very severe, where they may end up in a hospital. Now they're when they're dehydrated, they start to really shut down. Their body starts to shut down. So that is something important that you want to watch out for. If you have a senior that you're taking care of, you want to make sure that they stay hydrated. So regular water intake is a good thing for them. Is at least if you can't get 8 glasses a day, you want to at least try to get at least 5 glasses a day, maybe, the best you can. And then you want to make sure they get their regular checkups. You want to encourage, routine health screenings. Make sure they get their blood pressure checks, their cholesterol, their bone density. If there are any type of vaccinations, you want to get that too if that's what you're believing. Some people do not, and that's fine as well. So these are some of the things that we want to talk about as far as physical health, making sure they have that. You want to make sure when it comes down to joint and muscle care. Now, this is so important in alignment with physical health because stretching and flexibility. Do you ladies do any type of stretching
Every day.
every day?
I wouldn't be able to get out of bed if I didn't stretch, honestly.
I need to stretch every day. I'm not gonna sit here and tell that story, but because I notice when I don't stretch, yeah, it's problems. So definitely
But
need to work on that.
I actually stretch in bed before, and then when I get up, I stretch also. But I actually stretch in bed, and I convinced my husband to start stretching in bed. And I even got my grandson. Of course, he does everything we do. He stretches in bed.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks, he's an old man already. You hear him walking around here talking about his back. But anywho,
Well, yes. Well, stretching is so important. A
yeah.
lot of people, I mean, we all know that you're supposed to stretch before you do any exercise to prevent any type of injury. But a lot of people don't take that serious. They just go straight into exercise. But when you start to age and you're a senior citizen, you definitely want to make sure that you encourage that with your parents or whoever that you may be taking care of as a senior, that they're doing stretching and flexibility exercise. And they can be gentle stretches, nothing overbearing for them. Again, chair yoga, I'm always still going to encourage that. And that helps to reduce the stiffness that they may, normally can happen to them. So supplements, we'll make sure we have natural vitamins like turmeric, omega-3s, and magnesium. This all helps in supporting the joint health. And then they may sometimes need physical therapy because, again, if they're not using, if they're not walking enough and they're kind of, you know, not as mobile. But you want to make sure that they are seeing a physical therapist to help get them to improve their range of motion. Okay. So these are some of the things that you want to take a look at with our seniors. I mean, seniors is so important. I totally respect them. Because I feel like this, your parents, they took care of you. If you're fortunate to still have your parents with you, they took care of you. And it's only right that you would take care of them with their time of need. I know I told my parents, and I'm so happy I held up to the bargain. I said, I will never put you in some nursing home and leave you there. I'm going to take care of you. Now, sometimes there are situations that maybe if someone has maybe dementia, you may not be able to take care of them at home. You may need that extra help, and I get that. However, even with that, I would never have them going and I wouldn't come to visit them or,
Yeah.
some they just leave people in these places.
Yeah, I
You
And I,
have
need
to
to.
check on them.
You gotta check on them.
you
Yeah.
have to check on them. It's so important, and I'm a big component of that. So seniors matter, like it
They
should
do.
to everybody. But you want to keep their mental and cognition health really on point. So you want to encourage, brain exercises like puzzles, memory games, learning new skills like maybe a language, do some crafts. These things help to keep that brain active. And let's not even talk about seniors. I mean, we need to do that now.
If
we
you want to know the truth about it.
That's right. We need to all be doing this right now. Is keeping that brain active because even at you start getting into your 30s and your 40s and you start to really experience a lot of brain fog. And you we don't want that to keep going on because eventually that could lead into, God forbid, some type of dementia. But we want to keep that going. So we want to make sure we do those type of exercises to keep that brain health in motion. So social engagement is also very important when you become older and you're a senior. You want to encourage participation in clubs, senior groups, family activities to combat any isolation, because that's the other thing is that if I hope that none of our listeners out there or anybody that would not make sure that their senior is just at home and they're not visiting them.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would hope that everyone is visiting. Even even before my dad and mom started getting older, there was a woman that I used to visit that lived around a corner from them, and I would go by there and visit her. Her name was Miss Benalini. I know she's not with us no more, so I could say her name.
Yeah.
But she was such a sweet woman, and I used to always visit her, because her kids lived, far away. I think they lived overseas, so she didn't have anyone here, just her and her husband. So I would go by and visit, and you'd be surprised, like how they would just be so happy. They look forward to me coming.
They
Um,
do.
yeah, they look
They're lonely, imagine.
Even a phone call sometimes,
Yes.
like they love to hear your voice or just see you is better, but
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You want to do something. It's just so important that we take care of our seniors and not to leave them in some nursing home or leave them at home and not try to see about them. It's just so important because when people start to feel isolated, then sometimes you don't feel like you want to move around. You don't want to do anything. You become depressed. I mean, seniors become depressed just like younger people do.
Right.
So that's important.
Speaking firsthand, I know that it may be difficult, and I know that there's some seniors out there that are listening, and I hope that there are some young adults out there that are listening. Taking like middle school and high school kids and having them spend time in nursing homes. I remember doing that when I lived in Omaha as a teenager. My mother, she was in the medical field, and she worked up at a nursing home at one period. And I would go up there, and just to be around seniors, number one, they have the best stories. Number
They
one,
do.
they have the best stories. But the seniors would be so happy to see the young kids because that gave them an opportunity to feel young again. Just like me running around with my grandson. You running around and hanging out with young people makes them feel young.
Yes.
So, I hope that if, folks that are out there listening in radio world, our family in the radio world and our family on YouTube, take the opportunity to go and visit, some seniors, take some teenagers up there, and they can use that as college credits, by the way. And that's a great opportunity for you just to help some people who may not have family that comes to visit. You just never know how impactful that really is.
Yes. That is
It's
true.
needed. It's needed.
It is needed. It's very needed. And, I know for my dad, he was also a veteran. And veterans, that's why even to this day, veterans mean a lot to me.
Oh,
I still get the magazines and stuff. I don't really even want them to stop coming because,
me either.
right? I don't want them to stop because it just means so much to me. But um,
Hmm.
he was a Navy guy, and he has so many great stories that he would tell. Being an African American, he was in World War II, so he would have a lot of great stories about how they were discriminated against and all of the different things that they would have to do to
Yeah.
maintain their safety. And of course, my dad had a slew of other things that he would talk about, but just to sit there and just hear him. I know so many people would just sit down and just listen to him, or my mom would,
Yeah.
right? And you know what? When you're growing up around that wisdom and you hear it so much, sometimes you take it for granted. Like, no, not this in mom and dad.
Yes. Yes. But and when you can't hear it any longer, oh my goodness, how you wish that you could. Oh my goodness. But it all goes hand in hand, with aging, it's a double-edged sword. We hate to get there, but we're all going to get there. That's the blessing of life in a nutshell, in my opinion. My opinion. My opinion.
Hmm.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Mrs. Thorpe, Mrs. Gail Thorpe, our sister here, our CEO Nutrition You Design. She is, every Monday morning, I look forward to seeing and hearing from you, Bunny, because you give me the push I need to stay on track with number one, eating right, which is so hard. Oh, And then number two, getting up and making getting up and doing right. So thank you, sis. We will
Absolutely.
be we will be right back after this quick commercial break. You're listening to WKRA 92.7, The Change. Stand by. Opame Simplistic Beauty is hair care and skincare in a bottle. Take a quick survey and let us design your own formula. Go to ourplugs.com, look for Opame Simplistic Beauty, and we can get your formula out to you as soon as possible. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.
Hello, fellow taxpayers. I'm Andre Martinez, and as the founding owner of EA Tax Pros, I can honestly tell you that our clients trust our team of highly skilled and experienced accountants. Why? Because we work with a passion to keep your money in your pockets, and we keep filing taxes simple, regardless of any situation. And let's be honest, taxes are not everyone's favorite. That's why, as a multi service accounting firm, our professional accountants have a deep understanding in all areas of accounting, and as well as tax planning, preparation, and resolving your tax issues. We lead the way of effectively utilizing the tax regulations and IRS codes to help our clients clearly identify the path of their personal, nonprofit, and business goals. So, if you don't know how to start your business or your nonprofit, we welcome you to the EA Tax Pros team, and you will have access to our enrolled agents who have earned the highest certification of the IRS, as well as CPAs, certified acceptance agents, and QuickBooks certified pro advisors. So give us a call, 713 496 0262. Or you can visit us at ea-taxpros.com. So come join the team that taxpayers trust. Also, don't forget to check out ourplugs.com, a community built with culture.
Hi, I'm Tori G, owner and founder of Say Something Tees, a statement t-shirt company. I got into this business by mistake, but the mission was no accident. As a Black female-owned brand, we do more than just sell shirts. We make statements. Our designs spark conversation, sometimes shady, sometimes in your face, but always bold. From the 92% collection, honoring Black women who always show up, to Dear Black Woman, a love letter to our strength and resilience. Our tees empower, uplift, and keep it real. Because at Say Something Tees, we believe your shirt should speak before you do. Shop Black owned, shop with a purpose. Find us at www.saysomething.biz and let's say something together.
And we are back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection. I am your morning host, DJ Kitty. I'm here with my co-host, Mrs. Morningstar. And this morning we are talking to our sister, Gail Thorpe from Nutrition You Design. So Gail, did you want to continue our conversation? Did you have anything else to add to these tips on taking care of yourself and the elders?
Yes, I definitely do. A big thing I think is very important too is safety. So home modification. So make sure to install any type of grab bars. I'm sorry. Use non-slip mats and improving lighting so that they can see. Make sure that if they need any type of motility aids like canes or walkers, those things are important too. These are, of course, to help to prevent any type of falls because they do become, very fragile when they get older, and you want to make sure to prevent all of that from happening, especially if you're not able to be with them as often as you would like.
Absolutely.
You know, so, and I also wanted to, of course, me, I have to dig a little bit deeper into the nutrition aspect before I'm kind of run over some things really quickly because I know we do have a great guest coming up and I
Yes.
can't wait to meet her. So superfoods, I love my superfoods for the brain and memory. Make sure, like blueberries, which is, of course, rich in antioxidants. It helps improve your memory, your cognition function. Walnuts, which is high in omega-3s and antioxidants, and that supports brain health. You want to do fatty fish, salmon, sardines, packed again with omega-3s, which help to reduce inflammation, support brain and heart health. And turmeric, which contains curcumin, and which has an anti-inflammatory properties and may also help to prevent cognition decline. And that's so important because as we age and we get older, we definitely, I said about brain fog, right? We have to ward off that, and we can do so just by eating better foods to help that problem. And just really quickly, when we talked about a few moments ago about the bone and joint health, you want to do spinach and kale, which helps with calcium and magnesium, vitamin K for bone strength. Um, you also want to do almonds, which is high in magnesium and supports brain density. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things, and I'm only limited for time, but you got the gist of it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go through real quick. Blueberries, walnuts, fatty fish such as salmon, turmeric, spinach, kale, and almonds are some of the foods that will help our elders as well as ourselves. I wrote them down because, I'm getting up there. So I'm trying to I figure if I start eating like this now, by the
Mhm.
time I am 65, I'll be in good shape. I'll still be able to, get out there and do the fan dance and all that good jazz. Cause baby, it's old except clothes. Okay.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
So I know this morning you have someone that you wanted to bring on as your guest. Did you want to go ahead and bring her in, Miss Morningstar? Is now a good time,
Sure. You
Miss?
ready for a
You,
Gail?
you ready,
Yeah,
Gail?
I want to do a brief little bio about her as
All right.
well.
Okay.
And okay, so this happens to be a good friend of mine. Her name is Tara Ellaby. She is a visionary leader and business strategist with over 13 years of experience in the healthcare industry. She has played a pivotal role in developing and scaling multiple medical facilities, generating upwards of 65 million in revenue, with a keen eye for business development and passion for helping others to succeed. Tara has guided numerous entrepreneurs in launching and managing thriving home care agencies, medical facilities, and behavioral health centers. Since relocating to Charlotte in 2012, Tara has gained a deep understanding of the region's healthcare landscape. She holds a bachelor's degree in business from the University of Maryland, which has served as a foundation for her expertise in financial strategy, operational efficiency, and market expansion. As a sought-after consultant and new business development strategist, Tara specializes in turning healthcare visions into sustainable and profitable enterprises. Her ability to navigate complex industry regulations, implement efficient operational structures, and foster strategic partnership has made her a valuable asset to the healthcare industry. So Tara is definitely committed to empowering others and continues to shape the future of healthcare by mentoring and inspiring business owners and advocates for high quality and patient care. So without further ado, I want to bring on Tara Alby, my good friend.
Welcome, Tara.
Hi, welcome, welcome. Thank you for having me, Gail. Thank you, ladies. Nice to meet you. I'm excited to be here tonight, this morning.
Same here. Same here.
Nice to meet you as well. What
Yes.
an amazing bio.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm so proud of her.
Yes,
So
it's amazing. I love it.
yeah, so I figure, Tara, I remember the journey of you starting the business in home health care for seniors, and now you've added recently assistant living. And you are powerful. You're a powerhouse. I mean, she's actually running a multi-million dollar business, guys, as a powerful black woman. Another one, right? And so I'm just proud of that. What made you get started in that?
Well, thank you so much, Gail, for all the accolades that you always give me. You know, I love you. You're my sister. We've known each other for years. We've
Yeah.
done healthcare together for a very long time. How I got started in healthcare was home healthcare, particularly, was interesting. I'm from the DC, PG County, Maryland area, born and raised. And I was working for Discovery Channel in marketing and business, and we had big layoffs around '07. So after '07, I kind of just really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was working for radio. I did a couple of things with Clear Channel Radio. I did some advertising. And one day I was just kind of sitting in my apartment and I went up to the business center and I met a guy and he said, what do you do? What are you doing? And I said, well, I do marketing. I'm, business strategist. I'm kind of, looking for something a little more stable. And he said, have you ever heard of home health care? And I said, no, what is that? And he said, listen, he said, with, what you have going on and your personality and your energy, you could do some really great things in home health care. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So he told me about it. He said he had an office in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I didn't know much about Charlotte. I had family in Charlotte. My dad's from that area, but I really, most of my family there had either moved out of the area or had passed away. And I said, I've been in Charlotte, when I was younger, but I really don't know much about Charlotte. But hey, what's going on down there? He said, listen, I have a home health care company down there. He said, I just can't seem to get it off the ground. If you could just go down there and check it out for me, you do marketing, you're a business strategist, maybe you could, help me out. So I got in my car, I drove down to Charlotte, and I he really didn't have anything going on. He was right. he had an office and a girl sitting at the desk and a license, and that was it. So I started reading and studying and kind of understand. I knew a little bit about healthcare, but not much. In some of my previous positions, I had done some healthcare stuff, but I really didn't understand North Carolina's policies. I didn't understand the difference between Medicaid and Medicare. I didn't know really anything, but I really, dug deep into it. I got really interested in it. And he eventually sold me the company, like maybe 6 months later, he just sold it. He said, I don't want to do it anymore. He was an African guy. He was from Tanzania. He said, I really don't want to do it anymore. I'm going to, I'm leaving. I'm going back to, I'm going to London or whatever. And I bought it from him. And as I said, he had nothing going on except he was like $56,000 in debt. And I was down there by myself. I had my daughter at the time, was really young. And ladies, I'm telling you, I just hit the road running. I just started meeting people.
Know what we do.
That's what we do.
That's the power. That is the power
we
right there. We do what we got to do.
It's crazy. I don't even, and I tell people all the time, I say, if the Most High had showed me what I had to go through to get to where I am now, I don't know if I would have done it again.
You would have.
If he would have showed me you have to do this, and this, but this is where you'll end up, I'd have been like, no, I'm good. Because it wasn't easy. But I'll tell you guys, with God, I will say that within a year, Bunny, I think I told you, we probably hit $1 million our first year.
That's awesome.
In a market that I knew nothing about, in a business that I knew nothing about. I just was a marketing guru. I talked to everybody. I shook hands. I met people. I went to every hospital, every nursing home, every social worker, anybody I could get my hands on. I was just promoting my business. And at the time, my business was named Elite Home Healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
And because I bought his license, I changed the name of the company. And we went from 0 clients to 125 clients in about 90 days.
Baby.
Mm-hmm.
You went to work.
I was literally sleeping in my car, sleeping in the office. I mean, it was crazy. But today, fast forward 13 years later, I've had multiple home care companies. I've helped people open up companies. And now I'm part owner of an assisted living facility, which I hope we really get to dig into that for a little bit about what that looks like. Because I heard you ladies say earlier that, as the Black community, we tend to take care of our own.
Yeah, we do.
And if we are looking for, the old senior living facility of people just kind of going into these nursing homes and just being thrown in a room and in the bed, getting bed sores and not being taken care of. And that's kind of moving. They're moving a little bit away from that.
Good.
So when Gail and I talk, she'll, hopefully we can dig more deep if she has, we can get into those specifics, because I know people want to know about the changing landscape of what assisted living looks like now.
Well, I'm going to talk to you about that, because that is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
When he had went into, he was like in the rehab, so he was in it for a few weeks, and but I was there every day. I didn't mess around. I was there.
Right.
But the sad part about it, that there were people who didn't have anybody to come to see them, and I felt so bad because I saw the things that they would do, some of the things that were going on, which would be the best. So, and I must say, like I said, when she talks about that million that she made, it now is turned into a multi-million-dollar business. One thing I like about her is that she is a go-getter, and once she sets her eyes on something, it's going to happen. I've been knowing her for a long time, and she's always been that way. And she's passionate, is what I like. And being a Black woman, having this type of business, so impressive. Talk to us a little bit more about you, dealing with the assisted living. How did that come about? And what are some of the things that you want to do with that?
Yeah, great question, Gail. I think that, so as I said earlier, we started off with just home health care, which is pretty much, ladies, where most people start, because the goal is really to just stay in your home. Nobody wants to leave their home. I don't care who it is. They want to stay home. They want to, I think it's a mental shift when you enter into a facility. So what we found is that the states are now telling people to stay at home and just kind of send a nurse out to help you with your daily living, which are like what we call the 5 ADLs, which is your active daily living tasks. So like bathing, toileting, eating, medication reminders. And so the people that come out to your home are called CNAs or PCAs.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in and they stay between 2, and I have some people that stay up to 8 hours a day. And families tend to really like that because their parents or are home, and they can stop by their homes easier. They get to know the aide. The aide really takes care of the elderly parent or the disabled parent, and that tends to work out really well. Oftentimes, they also have other services that go along with it, like food, like Meals on Wheels, which we're going to talk about, hopefully, how all that's getting cut out now. But Meals on Wheels and delivery food services. They have transportation to take them back and forth to the doctors. Some of them have doctors and nurses that even come into the home, physical therapists, all those things. So we have now created a landscape where people can stay in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, in the past, people were just dying in their homes, debilitating in their homes, specifically during COVID. COVID was really crazy. But people were not bathing, they were not taking their medications, they were, having bed sores, they weren't. So now that we have someone coming into the home, that person is certified and trained to really take care of that person's personal needs, personal health, making sure they're going to the doctors, things like that. And people are actually living longer, they're happier, and they're able to stay in their homes longer. Oftentimes, they just pass away at home or pass away on a hospital, visit. They don't have to go into a facility. Back in the day, facilities were really, and this is where seniors really need to, or people that have parents that are seniors really need to pay attention to these facilities that take your parents homes and take their checks and take their retirement checks. Like, they become the beneficiary of all of your things just for your parents to stay in that home.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have tried to really work hard to cut that out, where people don't lose everything just to be able to have a place to live in their elderly years. So what you're seeing now is a lot of facilities, which is what I'm partnered with, which is Dora's Senior Living, and you can go to the website and see it. A good friend of mine asked me to come in partnership with her, and we bought a big home in Charlotte. We have 4 big bedrooms and 4 bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And people who have some sort of like senior living insurance, policies, because you can get those, or people who have a really, pretty decent retirement plan are kind of just paying cash to stay there. And the rooms are running between $5,000 and $8,000 a month. And in those rooms, you have, like I said, they're en suites, and there's tons of these homes out there. They're en suites. We have the CNAs go into that home and take care of everyone in the home. So their meals are provided for, their transportation is there. We have an on-site doctor that comes in every day. And it's just a great situation for a lot of people. And that's kind of what senior living has kind of transitioned to. Or we're seeing more of that, which is, it's not as intense as being put into a regular, facility, or like we used to call it old folks home. It's not as intense as that, but it's a little bit more care than just sending a CNA out to the home. Some people sell their homes and just move into, our house, and we know other people that have those houses like that. And some people just haven't saved up a lot of money over the years, and they have policies and things like that, and they're just able to pay cash every month. And that's what we're going to.
So we have a couple questions, both myself and Ms. Morningstar.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Ms.
Well,
Morningstar.
mine is more so as I can concur with what you're saying, because I have a grandfather, my husband's grandfather. He's 90 years old. He just sold his home recently, and he went into one of those type of facilities where he's very independent. He travels. He's very healthy. He's still traveling back and forth. He lives in Washington State, but he's traveling back and forth easily. But he wanted to move into a facility like that is more upscale, where all his meals are included.
Yes.
They have like a different entertainment for them throughout the day. They can go to the movie theater within the facility. I mean, it's a pretty upscale facility that he lives in. And he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
And those centers and those places like that, my parents live in a place like that as well. It's called Sun City down in South Carolina. And those are for active seniors.
Okay.
Like your grandfather. Yeah, they're active. And they've aged very well. They're still walking, going to the gym, playing golf. My dad plays golf. My mom swims. It's a really great community. And that's another option as well. And typically what those seniors do is they sell their home. And then they have the funds and the means to move into those 55 and over adult. And those are called more adult active lifestyle kind of communities, where you're not sick. You don't need a nurse. You may have somebody come in and clean or whatever, but for the most part, you're still very mobile. And I love those. And oftentimes you don't see a lot of us in those communities because they can be expensive. They can be very expensive. But my parents, I grew up in Washington, D.C. area. They were government workers all their life. They retired with great retirement, which I'm blessed, because a lot of people have to, fund their parents, have to help them out. And so my parents left with a really good government pension. They sold a house out in Mitchellville, Maryland, for a lot of money, and they were able to move to South Carolina and put half of that money up somewhere.
Yeah.
And still were able to buy into a home. And I love the fact my parents are in their 80s, and I love the fact that they're not sick. But if they were, and if this is obviously, what I do is for people who need help.
Right.
They're disabled. They may have some mental challenges. They have, illnesses. And I'll tell you, ladies, especially listen, I love my brothers. I love y'all brothers. Don't get me wrong. But I have more Black men that are really sick and really lonely. And you would be surprised at how many Black men I have that don't have any family, don't have a wife, and we're taking care of them.
Yeah.
We're taking care of them. So we have to really, back to what Gail talks about, stay healthy, eat well, walk, exercise, take yourself as much as you can. I mean, things can happen all the time, but I would really love to see us age, a little more gracefully than the demographic I'm dealing with.
Absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%, because unfortunately, some of our brothers out here would prefer to stay single or play the game, and then you're gonna age one day, and then who's gonna take care of you? But one of my questions was, now that this new administration is in office, what are you seeing as far as Medicaid, Medicare, and the Social Security, and the effects of them touching things that's not they shouldn't have their hands on, but that's a whole nother story. How is that affecting your business? And give us some insight on that.
It's scary.
Absolutely.
It's scary. About a month ago, my phone was ringing off the hook because I sit on a couple of boards. I sit on the Medicaid board, it's a couple of things in North Carolina. And we were having emergency conference calls when the Medicaid system was shut down.
Yes.
They went into the system and really, it was crazy,
That was awful.
And that is my business, ladies. That's my business. And so people always think about the recipients, but they never think about the business owners.
No, I'm thinking about the business
and you're thinking, and that's what I'm saying. I'm glad you did, because most people don't think that.
I'm definitely thinking about the business owners. Because I know a lot of private practicing doctors that were completely.
I have family that
they were stunned. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's going to affect us greatly. We're going to have some challenges. They're cutting. I think North Carolina lost. They took $9 billion away from North Carolina. In already. So things are already happening.
So when that happens, for our listening audience, as well as us that are on YouTube tuning in, what does the business do? Do you have to remove those people from your facility because
Yeah.
So
eventually, if this actually goes through, right now a lot of it has a stay. They're in court, they're fighting, and all that. But if it gets to, like, say, the Supreme Court and they agree, I believe this budget, I heard Ms. Morningstar say about, when she first came on the show, about the people trying to get rid of Chuck Schumer. Those issues, he approved a bill that cuts all that stuff.
Cuts it all.
So it's going to happen.
He did.
I don't know what I don't want to get off in the politics. I don't know what he was thinking about, because like most people are saying, we were shut down anyway.
His
what
pockets.
I mean?
Yeah. He was thinking about his pockets.
And not ours.
He had some type of and I don't want to quote it, some explanation as to why he decided, because they're trying to play some political game. And for me, you're playing with lives.
With people's lives.
You are playing with lives.
And then I think he said that it was gonna hurt, it was gonna hurt the government, but we're hurting anyway. We could have hurt for another 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It would have hurt.
Something to that effect. Like, if we didn't put past the bill, then this will give them the opportunity to really go in and just completely dismantle or do whatever it is more than what, like, this was kind of like a median to say, okay, I'm going to approve this. This is what we're approving, not for them to be able to go in and completely dismantle the whole thing. So, that's above my pay scale. Okay.
But we have another, I think we have another bite at the apple, I think in September, right?
I thought it was 30 days.
Was it 30 days?
It's 30 days, and they have to come back after 30 days, which is about 15 days now. So sometime
we'll see.
We'll see. But I need to say this before we end the show, because we're running up on the time. But I will say this, and then I'm going to hand it back over to you, Gail. We've got probably about 3 minutes. For those of you who decided to vote him into office, get ready to bring your family members home, because we tried to warn you. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to close by saying this. There's a lot of information out there. These cuts will hurt business owners like me. You asked, what are we going to do? We will probably pivot more to private pay. But people are losing jobs. So that, I don't know what that looks like. What'll happen with the people that do have Medicaid is 2 things will happen, people. I want you guys to know this. They will probably increase the qualification. So now, you can maybe make $14,000 a year in retirement and still get Medicaid. They may make it that you could only, they may make it $11,000. They may lower it. Where people are getting 100 hours a month of service, they may lower it to 50 hours. That's how they'll do the cuts. So people will their benefits will probably be cut in half.
I'm so sick of that.
That's what I'm seeing, and we don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's praying and hoping that our Congress people will do something and not just sit on their hands. But right now, it's just not looking good. So we're just, all of us owners of home care companies and behavioral health companies and senior living facilities are just praying and hoping that, it just doesn't happen, because we have to take care of our seniors and our disabled.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We don't have a choice. That's not going to stop. So
It's not going to stop.
Yeah, we don't have a choice, and they can say whatever they want to say on the news and make it seem like as if these things are not happening. They are happening. Like you mentioned, they're slowly happening. Some of the things, some of it's on a stay, and some are actually happening. I heard you mention real quickly about the Meals on Wheels. Did you say that was cut out, Tara?
Yeah, Meals on Wheels will be cut. Transportation will be cut. All kinds of benefits. Obviously, we know food stamps will be cut. People getting food assistance, Head Start, all disabled people that are disabled, even disabled children. Those programs will be cut. It's bad.
it's really bad. It's really bad. So, ladies, we've got a few minutes left. Tara, thank you so much. What I would like to see, and I know this is your show, honey, but I would like to see you come back, because we're going to need an update.
Sure.
So please, if you can, Gail, get her back on the schedule in a couple of
I was
weeks.
going to say,
Yeah.
He's so informative.
Absolutely.
There's no way that I could. This is too short of a show for her, for this powerhouse.
I know.
This was the fastest hour ever. I mean, Tara, when your energy is everything, sis. And I thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
We love for you to come back, because I know you got more stuff to share.
Yeah, I will. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Don't drop yet. Don't drop yet.
Don't drop yet. Just hang out.
Okay. Okay.
Gail, if you would please give us your last statements, and please book Tara again, please.
Yeah. I'm so happy you said it, because I'm sitting here saying there's no way the show has academy. She has too much information, and I'm definitely gonna book her again. I just wanted to say, basically, guys, is that take care of your seniors, because, like Tara mentioned, they're cutting out so many things, so many different changes, and there might not be a situation where you can send them away to assisted living or even get home care. So take care of them, take care of their health, and take care of your health, because you're going to become a senior one day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gail. Thank you so much. Miss Morningstar, did you want to say anything before we go ahead?
Thank you. I took some notes, Bunny, about my grandmother and her stretching. So I'm going to call my parents tonight and say, hey, make sure my Nana is stretching daily. I know she rides her little bike in her room, but she's 87 years old and in good health, pretty much, a little dementia, but we want to keep her here. So, and my parents are doing a fabulous job taking care of her.
I know that's right, sis. You got to take care of our elders.
Yes, I need my Nana.
Yes, especially my Nana, okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to put my request. Miss Tara, we would love to have you back. I think that we need to do this maybe in series.
Yeah.
Please get with Miss Thorpe. Yes. You guys work it out. We have so many people in the community, and this, I know we talk about health and we talk about wellness, but this is on the forefront, because it's going to affect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and there's so many people who it's going to affect. So next week, I'm not just put it out there, and I'm going to let Mr. Thorpe make her decisions, but I'm just putting it out there. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty. I came with my co-host, Mrs. Morningstar, today. We thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be right back tomorrow morning with Veterans Voice and Leaders Who Mentor. And we are so very thankful for WKRA 92.7 The Change for giving us the opportunity to let us have a voice. You guys have a wonderful day. Hug, love each other, touch some grass, drink your water, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Bye,
Hey
everybody.
y'all, it's
All
DJ
right.
Kitty.
Thank you.
And Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Kitty.
And Miss